Hi everybody, Snake here again with another individual hero to cover from my war defense study, and today we're doing Onatel. This one was requested by Nevermore because Nevermore had correctly answered one of the questions that I posed on one of my other videos. So that's why I'm bringing you Onatel today. Onatel is an old hero of the month from 2019. I say old, not that old. But his average mana speed, and I'm going to go through quickly here, deals 250% damage to the target and nearby enemies. But the star of the show for the skill set is that Onatel steals generated mana from the target and the nearby enemies. So this is generated mana, not just it won't take anything immediately off the mana bar, and does this over 4 turns. This cannot be cleaned, so that makes it problematic. She has an elemental link that recovers 4% health for all holy allies, and that's for over 6 turns. And she has a passive ability to resist blind. All right, so that's the quick and dirty on Onatel. Let's get into what you came here for. Let's take a look. All right, so here we are at Arrow Barrage. Arrow Barrage, 31.8% is the average survivability rate for that war. And you'll notice that we've only got a blue line across the bottom for Onatel. And that's because Onatel is a holy hero. And for that whole year, we didn't have any teams. We did not meet any, and we did not use it ourselves for holy at tank. So, it doesn't mean that Onatel is not good or not bad at tank. I have no data for her at all in any of these war types, so we'll get that out of the way right now. But let's focus in on the flank and the wing. And you know what? Maybe if the meta changes when I come out with version 2 of my war study, maybe we'll see some occurrences of Onatel there. It's not to say I don't have data on some holy heroes there, because I know that we have used holy tanks before if you've got 2 dark flanks. But I hope in the future that I do get to capture some. I'd love to see what she does there. Anyways, moving on. Let's look. So that blue line is outside of the orange one for flank and just tucked inside for the wing. Onatel actually does quite well at the flank. And I mean really well. 37.3%. Used only 11 times, but it makes the cutoff. But that is subject to change, and one good war will boost it up a lot more, and one bad one will sink that down. But it's close enough to where we want to be. That survivability rate for teams that have Onatel on the flank ranks in at 5 out of 70. So there's 70 different heroes that have made an appearance at least 10 times on the flank in this war type. And when Onatel is there, it ranks 5 out of 70. That's pretty darn good. On the wing, just under average. Only used 9 times. I did not rank that one. Okay, let's move now to the attack boost. Attack boost baseline, that orange line, is covering the 27.6% survivability rate. And again, we see flank on the up and up, and wing is actually quite a bit on the inside of that orange triangle. Onatel did great on flank, 35.3%. It was only used 8 times though, so I didn't rank it out of the 70. But if I was to lower my standard to heroes that have been used 8 times or more, the ranking that teams with Onatel on the flank would get is 3rd out of 84. So that's quite impressive. It's a very high score. I'd love to see more data on this, and maybe more will come soon in my next version. But let's talk about the other elephant in the room, and that's the wing. 10.8%, and it was used 12 times. This actually is above my cutoff. This means that 12 times Onatel was used on the wing, and the average is 10.8. That's terrible, and it shows in the ranking. So out of teams that had Onatel or a hero on it at least 10 times, 63 out of 63. It is the bottom of the barrel for that. So I don't know what has happened with Onatel on attack boost on the wing, but it doesn't look good. Now, it's low data, but it's going to take quite a few good wars to get that up to the average survivability rate of this war type. So, anyways, from the numbers, she's not great there. If you've got her, you stick her in at flank on attack boost, not on the wing. Okay, now we're at Undead Horde. Undead Horde, another war type with a low survivability rate at 27.2. It's the lowest. And Onatel is better at both flank and at wing, and by quite a bit. Undead Horde seems to be a nice spot for Onatel to sit. Once again, we have nothing at tank, and we've seen a trend already of Onatel being excellent on the flank. So this isn't surprising that teams with Onatel on the flank are ranked 7th out of 76. Incredibly high, and used 28 times. So we've got quite a few occurrences here. But why at the wing? We didn't see some good results on the wing before, and maybe it was just those war types. I don't see how stealing mana would give an advantage here over other war types, and there's no skills that Onatel has that can leverage minions. So it's quite baffling, but in any case, she does well here, and I report the numbers as they happen. This is what actually happens. So in Undead Horde, it seems that on wing or flank, you're good to go. Okay, now we're at Equalizer, and we see something different going on here. This is the first war type you're going to see where teams with Onatel on the flank are average and not superior. Now, 26.8% is just under the average and actually ranks right around the middle of all teams that have specific heroes used 10 times or more. So it's not a terrible idea, but it just looks bad compared to what we've had before. On the wing, absolutely excelling, 29.8%. Used 12 times and ranks 17 out of 57, which is in the top third. It's not super high, but it's in the top third. So Onatel, successful on the wing again, just like it was in Undead Horde. Flank for the first time sits at average. All right, now it's time to do Rush. Rush, of course, is got the highest survivability rate of all the war types at 34.1%. And when we look at the chart, we see that Onatel falls flat again on the wing. Not very impressive, 29.2, so it's well below the average. Used 18 times, used 43 times on the flank, and comes out ahead of the average, but not by much. It's still in the yellow, in the average ranking area. So not much to say here. You could use her on flank and still be effective. Not recommended on the wing, and again for tank we have nothing. And here's what Onatel looks like across all war types. So just on the inside of the average for wing and a little bit on the outside for flank. So flank is actually, it's pretty decent. It's 33.3%. Used 105 times. That's good enough for a ranking of 22 out of 136 different heroes. And then on the wing, it's 27.1%, which is kind of still middle of the pack. It's just a little bit under the average, but still it's a little bit lackluster in that area. That's all the time I've got to spend on Onatel today. I hope that this was useful for those that have Onatel. And again, I've mentioned this before. Even if you don't have these heroes, it's always good to know what kind of performance you can expect out of teams that have these heroes in certain positions. As a cunning attacker, it's always good to know what you're up against, especially if you're having to choose between different teams, depending on what you've got left in your roster. So I'll be back soon with another one. Please subscribe if you enjoy these videos and you want to get notified. Just hit that bell so that you can know right away when I put out another video. As always, if you liked it. If you don't like it, leave me a comment. I'm appreciative of all feedback that you guys can give me. And until next time, I'm Ssnake, and I'm here to help you defend yourself.